Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about my little adventure that I'm going to have around Bali. And I want to sort of say that you can travel around Bali really safely at any age. Age basically is a state of mind. So if you want to do something, don't think about it, you should do it. So what I'm going to do over the next 5 or 6 or whatever weeks is tour around Bali, and I'd really like to take you with me. I'm going to go around Bali and then I'm going to go heading from Bali up the west coast, then across to up to the top to Pemuteran, and then from here across to Lovina, and then down to Ubud, across to Bai, and then out to the Gillies and Lombok and tour around those. So that's all going to cover around about 6 weeks. And like I say, I really hope that you'd like to come along with me. So I'm doing this on my own as a solo traveller. I do have a partner and he's not able to come along on this, so I'm doing it on my own. I'm going to use a mix of transport. So let's just talk about the transport first of all. I don't have a bike licence. I don't want to hire a car or rent a car or use a car around Bali because the traffic's really busy, the roads are really narrow, and I'd rather someone else do the driving. So I'm going to have a mixture of both car and bike. And when I say bike, I'm going to be the passenger on the back of a bike. The longer sectors I'm not going to do on a bike because the first sector is about 3.5–4 hours from Legian up to Perancak, which is by Negara. I'm going to do that first part on with a private driver. Drivers are really easy to find in Bali, and whether it's a private car or a bike. And Gojek does operate in a lot of areas now. I mean, it used to only be in central Bali, but if you download the app and look at it, there are Gojeks from, like even where I am here in Perancak, there is the option of a Gojek or a Grab. What I will do is give you the cost of both a bike and a private car. Example, when I came up here, 4 hours odd to get here. If I was to do it on a bike, it would be $25. And in a car it was $50. The roads are really busy from Legian up to Perancak, Negara, that area, because it's one of the main routes for transport between Java and Bali, and that road's quite busy. It's a good road, it's sealed, it's only one lane in both directions, but it is a really busy road. Just a reminder that if you do come to Bali and you do decide to hire a bike, you do need to make sure you have a license, because they're a little bit vigilant at the moment on people riding bikes without a license. But if you have an accident and you don't have a license, you have an issue of not only covering the cost of the bike, but also the cost of your hospital bill. And hospital bills in Bali are really expensive. So what I'm going to do on this trip is have a mixture of both bike and car. I'm going to be using one or the other as I go around, but what I will do is give you the cost of both a bike and a private car. I mean, if you're a single traveller, you might choose a bike. If you're a couple or a family, you're probably going to choose a car. So again, it's to give you an indication of what it's going to cost to do this loop. So that's the transport side of it, and as I do each sector I'm going to show you on a map where it is. If we look at the accommodation side of it, Bali is very affordable, and I'm doing this with, a little bit with cost in mind. I mean, it's not that I can't afford to pay $200 or $300 a night for a room, but I don't work now, and some people are here for a good time, not a long time. I'm actually here for both. I'm here for a good time and a long time. So we don't sort of know how long we're going to be here and how much money we need. So I'm sort of doing this based on 3-star properties, which I've booked on booking.com or Agoda. And most of them are really central, and most of them are 3-star. And most of them get graded by you, the public. When you stay at a place, you grade it after you leave. And most of them are graded around a 8-star out of 10, 8 to 8.5. Now, it's pretty rare to get a 10, so 8 is pretty good. So I'm going to be staying in either guest houses or homestays, and I just need to explain what those are. Okay, I also needed to have a drink there in between because it's really hot today. It's about 30 degrees. So if you were in New Zealand or Australia, a guest house or a homestay would generally, it's in someone's house. And that bird tweeting in the background, that's a real bird too. I haven't put some sound underneath this. If you were to stay in a homestay or a guest house, usually it's someone's home. In Bali, they're a little bit different. So a guest house or a homestay can be something like this one I'm in at the moment in Perancak. And it's probably the most basic of all of them that I'm going to stay in. And I've picked this one because of its location. I've come here for something in particular, and this property is beachfront, which I wanted it to be. The other option is staying in Negara, and it's also in the right location for what I wanted. So getting back to hotels, a guest house or a homestay here in Bali is usually a private home. Someone might have a big piece of land and they might have built 2 or 4 or 6 or whatever little apartments or bungalows on the land. They might have a pool, they generally have a restaurant, they may have a spa. So they're all a little bit different, but they are smaller and they're more personal, they're affordable, they're comfortable generally. Like this one here, when you want to know something about the area, you can go and ask the host, and they generally know the area quite well and they can give you a little bit more personal information. So the properties I'm going to stay in are 3-star upwards. They're going to average around $40 to $70 odd a night. So I sort of want to show you what you can get outside of that main area, because Bali, as I say, is very affordable. I don't do shitty backpacker stuff, and this one I'm at the moment is probably about the lowest I would go. There's nothing wrong with it, it's comfortable, it's got air conditioning, it's clean, it has a fridge, it doesn't have tea and coffee making facilities. I don't really care about that. I'm mainly concerned about air conditioning and a fridge. That's the sort of accommodation I'm going to stay in. And wherever I stay, I'm going to show you through the property. If there are a couple of different options of room type, I'll show you that as well. And I'm also going to be quite transparent about the price, what I paid. So for example, this one here, I paid $35 a night, New Zealand dollars or Australian dollars, or $35 a night. It does include a breakfast. I quite like it here, it's really cool, it's beachfront. This area isn't such a touristy area, I think. You know, if you're down in Legian, you're inundated with tourists, but if you're up in this Perancak area, you're quite a way away from that main area, and it's sort of a little bit off the beaten track, which I really love. There's nothing wrong with it, but it just needs a bit of love, and it probably doesn't have that many visitors. So look, I'm really happy. It ticks all the boxes for me, but I'm going to be quite transparent about the costs, and all of the properties that I stay in, I do pay the full price for it, and I've booked most of them, or in fact all of them, on either booking.com or Agoda. Okay, just had to have a bit of liquid there. So the other thing I'm going to talk about is sightseeing when I go around. I used to be in the travel industry, sending people away on coach tours and cruises and whatever. I'm not one of these people that sits in a bus and watches everything go by. I'd rather get a little bit down and dirty and touch things and smell things and feel things and meet the locals. So most of what I do is a little bit more like an Ubud. I do a rice field walk. I'm going to go to Pemuteran, which I haven't been to before, which is really interesting. It's the little UNESCO protected village over there, which has won a lot of awards because it's very clean. So I'm going to do things like that. I'm going to do a bit of whitewater rafting up in Ubud, which I've never done before. Going to go and look at a few water temples when I get to Bai, places that are a little bit harder to get to from Legian because of the travelling distance, but if you're in Bai, it's a little bit easier. I'm going to show you how to get out to the outer islands and from Lombok back to Sanua. And ideally, while I'm out in Lombok, I'm going to do some, got to be careful how I say this, paragliding. Not parasailing. So parasailing's on the water, paragliding is in the air. So they do have tandem paragliding out there, and I'm going to have a go at that. And if I can't do that in Kuta Lombok, I'm going to do that when I get back in Uluwatu. I'm also going to go, while I'm in Ubud, going to go and visit the bamboo village where they have really beautiful houses. In fact, the whole village is made of bamboo. The houses are sort of like $1 million or so. They're 3 or 4 stories high. It's sort of like a gated community where they have a bamboo school, a restaurant made out of bamboo, and the houses are all made out of bamboo. They have their own pool. They have air conditioning, they have kitchens and baths and showers and everything else, but they're made out of bamboo. So I want to do things that are a little bit different and show you things that are a bit different. I want to go to a factory where they make incense. I've always wanted to do that. And when my partner was over here, a while back, he discovered one up in Ubud. So I've got a contact for that. So I'm going to go and check that out as well. So sort of things that are a little bit different. Some of the ancient villages over on Lombok as well that you can visit. So I'll do all that, and I'll also share the cost of those things with you. As far as food is concerned, because I guess sometimes that's an issue, or not an issue, but it's something that people wonder or worry about, what's food going to cost me? Every time I eat something, I'm going to show you what I'm eating. I'm going to show you the cost of it, and Bali is actually really affordable. I'm not very adventurous with my food, and I tend to eat Balinese food. I very rarely eat Western food, so usually it's a rice dish or a chicken dish or whatever. Not really big on seafood. But whatever I eat, I'm going to show you the cost of it. I'm going to show you a breakfast, a lunch and a dinner in Legian for a day. 3 different places I'm going to go to, and I'm going to show you what you're in for with costs there. So food is the other thing that we're going to talk about. Apart from that, look, I should show you a bit later on what I've packed, because I put everything in a backpack. And when I say a backpack, it's not a backpack like you'd think, like people that backpack use. It's more like a backpack that you'd use when you go to the gym. Clothing is a little bit limited, and I've restricted it to very quickly drip dry things. A lot of gym gear like this that's sort of synthetic and dries very quickly. Because although it's quite warm in Bali, things don't dry overnight. If you've got something that's quite a thick cotton, it won't dry overnight. So I've only got like about 3 or 4 changes of clothing. Usually I wear black all the time, so don't think I'm wearing the same thing every day, because I'm not. But I have packed very, very lightly, and I might at one stage spread it all out on the bed and let you see what I've got, because it's not a lot. I guess if you're going to use a car all the way around, you have got a little bit more flexibility with your baggage. But at one point I'm going to stay in the rice fields in Ubud, and you can't get a car into the rice fields, so again I have packed quite light for that. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to it. I do hope that you come along with me. I do hope that if you've been to Bali a few times, you might decide that the next visit's going to be a little bit more adventurous, and you're going to get away from that Kuta Legian area, because Bali is actually really beautiful when you get away from all that. We sort of think of it as a peaceful, tropical paradise, and Kuta isn't like that now, and Legian isn't like that now. It's changed a lot. It's really noisy. And I think I noticed it most of all a while back when I went to Gili Trawangan, where there are no bikes and no cars, and it's just really peaceful. There's just the sound of people chattering and birds and the waves lapping on the shore, and it's quite, it's sort of like you expect Bali to be, and it's not like that now. So I want to find that real Bali as we travel around. So come along. Come along, and let's share that adventure.